where I like to be. Good morning, Abraham. Good morning, everyone. I've been pondering a quote lately. I cut it out and put it over my desk at work. It's by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And it goes, "As for the future, your task is not to foresee it, but to enable it." And it kind of encapsulates a conundrum I've been thinking about lately between foreseeing the future, which is sort of my understanding of some of the Abraham teachings, and enabling the future, which is the world of action. And clearly to Saint-Exupéry, action was the most important. A lot of people in my generation believed that it was their task to enable the future, to create a better planet, a better country, to create a better. And for want of a better term, the vehicle to do that is sometimes called politics. Now, Abraham has said some very damning things about politics over time.
Oh, we never damn them.
Well,
we never damn them.
As a person who's spent a lot of his adult life in the political world, I cannot disagree with any of them. Pushing against is kind of the nature of the beast in politics. It's part of the modus operandi of how things get done. Some years ago, and you mentioned this, I ran for public office. I actually ran for Congress from this district. And because I felt it was my task, my desire, my duty to enable the future, to build a better world. Pushing against, Abraham teaches us, is a pretty pointless pursuit. But lately I've been feeling the urge to go back into this hurly-burly world of politics. So my question is, how do I enter this world of pushing against without losing myself? And more importantly, how do I apply or adhere to the teachings of Abraham while my desire is to help, not the teachings of Abraham, and also the laws of the universe, when my desire is to help write the laws of man?
Well, you could not have been more articulate. And it might surprise you to hear us say that we have not even the slightest disagreement with anything that you just said, especially the quote that you began with today. We're going to give you just a little basis, a very short explanation of something, and then we're going to dive right into this, and you'll see how it all fits together.
Thank you.
And it is our absolute knowing that you will feel empowered by all of this and eager to jump in with all 4 feet.
I'm sorry, I just had this image of getting down on my hands and knees and crawling around in the muck.
Well, we've been watching the dogs. So, we've been describing this deliberate creative process as a 3-step process. The first step is explore the contrast. And that's part of what the political world is about.
Yes.
That exploring contrast is all part of the conversation. It's all part of the discussion. It's part of the solution. Because, first of all, you can't find a solution unless you have identified what your question or problem is.
Yes.
And there is certainly no expansion without knowing what you would like that is beyond what you have. So, step 1 is a very important part of the process. Humans get stuck in step 1 a lot. The second part of the 3-step process is the answer comes. In other words, when you ask, the answer comes. Well, that's the universe's response. Mm-hmm. That's source response. That's not man's role. But the third step in this 3-step process is you must, as the asker of the question, you must find a way to become the allower of the answer or the allower of the solution. And we think that this famous philosopher who is offering this quote that you so eloquently described here may very well be talking about that as the enabling. Because if you don't find vibrational alignment with what you want, you are not enabling. We are talking about realizing it. You must enable yourself to be the receiver or the allower of what life has caused you to know that you want, you see. So, certainly, in politics, there is a lot of pushing against. But can you imagine being in any sort of discussion with any sort of reasonable people? And we're not excluding Congress from that. Really, we are not. They are well-meaning. They are well educated, they've had a lot of experience, and they for the most part have strong desire for the upliftment of the whole. That was dominantly the reason that they are participating there. But they are an exaggerated version of the human species in that they really are stuck in the step one. They have a sort of shortage consciousness where they are vying for resources and sort of squabbling over the resources that exist. So imagine a group of people coming together, reveling in the collective questions that arise as lots of people from lots of districts and lots of communities and lots of variety of lots of issues come together. Imagine the collective question that they are asking. Imagine the collective question that they have put in answer to the question that they've put into this vortex. Imagine what the solutions in that vortex must be with that sort of masterminding taking place. But you're right, and we are too, when we talk about them as a group pushing so hard against one another that they don't allow themselves the receiving of the answers that have already been spun to gold in this vortex. Now, it does not take many. In fact, it could be one. It does not take many to stand in that place of understanding how to allow. You cannot be one who is pushing against and be in the state of allowing at the same time. So understanding the process and applauding all of them for the positions that they stand in. There is nothing about politics that is outside these teachings. There is nothing about that quote that is outside of it either. And recently, because we have been feeling this question burgeoning within so many, we've begun describing how it happens that things do manifest, that things do come from this vibrational reality that is completely disrespected is too strong of a word by our human friends, but you're not all that excited about the vibrational reality. You want the money where you can spend it, and you want your lovers in your bed. In other words, you want what you want. You want it in tangible form. So we've been describing that the vortex is spinning, and it's a vibrational version, and that unless you stop doing that thing you're doing, we described the cork being held under the water. You let go of the cork, it'll bob right back to the surface, to the high energy. You hold it under the water, that's more of that pushing against or defending or justifying or blaming, condemning, complaining. All of that holds your cork under the water and makes you oblivious to the answers that really would be available to you in the moment that you would stop doing it.